So this is Hybrid Striped Bass Association Winter Classic, and something we've been doing for about 4 years now. Started back in 2019, I think, 2018, something like that. But yeah, we essentially started the tournament because the Wildlife Association started stocking new hybrid striped bass in Lake Norman, and we're trying to promote the new fish and try to bring back the fishing community around Lake Norman. As you heard the wildlife biologist making comments earlier about the type of lake that Lake Norman is, and it's hard to have a good sport fishing lake in this type of environment. So the association is trying to raise awareness and promote the new species of fish in the lake.
Here at the Hybrid Striped Bass Association's tournament on Lake Norman, Hager Creek access. Had a pretty good little turnout here. Been talking to some people, and it seems like most people are pulling A-rigs. I haven't met anybody that's been pulling live bait yet.
Yep. Well, you got it. Whoa, don't make me fall. In the half. You don't get them all in?
You trying to swim back up the ramp?
Yeah.
There he goes.
Exactly the smartest.
Following you, man.
Let's go, boys. He's gonna be fine. You don't run anymore. Hands up. Hands up. Hands up. We'll come back, all right? Come back.
Artificials.
Oh, that's a nice fish, guy. And that's a nice one.
Hey, yeah, nice to meet you.
How'd y'all do?
We done good. Caught a lot of fish.
What was your game plan this morning?
Live bait.
Live bait?
Live
So
bait.
you're one of the few that actually pulled live bait.
I am. Caught all every fish within 400 yards where he's standing.
What kind of rods did you catch them on?
Caught 30 fish in an hour. I
Wow.
didn't catch the first fish till 12:41.
They're obviously on a time of day bite. Or
I fished the same fish this morning, and we caught a crappie that was about 15 inches, and then we come back to them because I couldn't find nothing nowhere else. I said, well, just go sit on them fish and see if they'll eat.
yeah, I think that's
Finally.
smart, man. You live and die by it.
65 foot of water.
Woo!
I found some big fish the last 2 days, and I kind of fished them for about 20 minutes each day. And they were there. Had my fingers crossed. They were there this morning with that cold front coming through.
Yeah.
And it did not look very good at first, but when that sun came over the treetops, it was on fire for about, I'd say, 30, 45 minutes, and then game over. But luckily, made the...
So the pre-fishing paid off for you
It
then?
absolutely did, yeah. Without that, I would have definitely had almost zero because, I mean, like I said, I found them towards the end of the first day and the second day. I visited twice. Each time I went there, I made one pass and picked up a big fish. And yeah, so this morning, went through there, and once the sun came to the treetops, the birds started working in front of me, and I picked up, I had 4 rods go off at one time. A couple rods had 2 fish on one line. I had a striper on one as well, and they're all big fish. And that moment of chaos was what did it.
Awesome. I bet pulling live bait didn't even cross your mind today, did it?
Live bait you see on here? Heck no. Never.
How you doing, Mr. Bill Ward?
I'm doing good.
What was your game plan this morning?
We were going to try to catch fish. Yeah, wasn't the best game plan.
It seems like most people's been pulling Alabama rigs.
Yeah, we actually caught all of ours on mussels.
Did you really?
Yeah, we pulled about 3 hours of Alabama rigs, and then
I've heard at least one other person say mussels.
Yeah, and then we did mussels and shiners. for the
Mussels and
rest of
shiner.
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well-
we had all 3 of our fish off mussels. So.
Wow. So, well, you showed up to the weigh-in. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's always a good day when you have something to weigh in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't always work that way.
No, it doesn't. Skunks suck.
We were going to try to troll early while we thought, you know, it was cold and they might be up a little higher, figuring that with the sunshine they'd go deep. And sure enough, the last 2 we caught were over 50 feet deep. We trolled a couple of hours and then sat on a point over a bunch of fish. Not real enthusiastic biters, but a bunch of fish. And then we moved and we tried a spot we were arguing about whether we should have started there this morning. And went down and looked, barren, Dead Sea. Came back up, checked Stumpy, and then kind of went back in the same general area where we'd caught our earlier fish. And
Yeah.
that's where we finished out.
So, were you fishing deep mostly?
Yeah, mostly we were 30 to 40 feet deep, and at the end of the day, we were fishing 50, 60.
Oh,
feet
wow.
deep.
Yeah. I know. I talked to Lee. He said he caught his around, I think he said 60.
Yeah, there were a bunch down there in the main channel at 50 to 60. Earlier in the morning, kind of like we suspected, they were all 25 to 30 feet deep and
Okay.
within range of the Alabama rigs without
Yeah.
too much trouble.
Right.
They just in that early cold weather, before the sun really got up, they just weren't all that interested. In fact, they weren't all that interested all day, all day long. We marked a lot of fish and a lot of bait, but just not a lot of super enthusiastic biters.
Right.
Which is the way it's been the last couple of weeks. So with the cold front that came through last night, early this morning, it was not a big surprise. We had decent sized live shiners on Carolina rigs, so we had no problem getting down to them. We just had a hard time
Getting them to chew.
There it is. Come on. And they weren't buying it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Bill. And
You bet.
good luck, man.
Thanks.
You from around here, sir?
Yeah, just from Mooresville.
From Mooresville?
Yeah.
I can tell by the accent.
Originally from London, England. Been in America like 10 years now.
Okay. So, did you fish the tournament this morning?
I did not fish the tournament this morning. I was meant to, but
Yeah.
ran out of time.
Yeah.
So I just come down for the weigh-in, see what's going on.
Had you fished it, what would have been your game plan?
I use an A-rig.
A-rigs?
Yeah.
It seems like that's what everybody's pulling.
A-rigs, maybe some mussels.
Some mussels.
Mussels, everyone seems to be on the mussel game right now, so throw some of those in there.
Hi there. Did you catch any this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah? What did you catch them on?
To be honest, I don't even know.
Was you using real fish to catch them or fake fish?
Real fish.
Okay. Well, that's good. You're one of the few that actually pulled live bait today. Well, congratulations. I hope you win it.
We started out real slow, but it finally found a few fish.
We actually went south. Might should have went north, but we went on down to around Marker 10, the big island right there.
Yeah.
I think some people call that no man's land. Or
No
whatever.
man's land,
Yeah.
yep.
Water temperature was a little bit cooler down there, so I was afraid
That fish is going crazy.
it wouldn't produce. But we caught some fish, but I'm just not sure they're gonna be the size we want. But
Right.
we caught 7 or 8.
Pretty deep?
Yeah, 40 feet.
Yeah, I
across.
imagine the water temp being in the low 40s like that. It's
Yeah.
a lot of. I imagine there are some people that probably target them shallow. Who knows? That might be
Yeah.
what won the tournament today.
Yeah, it looks like we've got some good backs here. I know Peter's look pretty good. We had a blast though. This is mine and my boy. This is our first tournament ever, so
Really?
we're weighing in, so I'm happy.
Well, hey,
We pulled,
congratulations
we
on
weighed in,
you
so-
showed up with some respect. That's good. That's always a good thing.
First one of the day.
Did you?
She did. The very first hybrid of the day.
Oh wow. Well,
Absolutely.
maybe that'll be the winner.
I hope so, but that little girl right there, I think she's going to take it.
It's been some pretty good weigh-ins.
I mean, that one looks pretty deep.
So the hybrid fishery here is a lot like a crappie fishery is. So if you look at it that way, it may change with the length limit change. You know, we may see more bigger fish. That's our hope. Our hope is to grow bigger fish. I mean, that's what we want to do. And that's why we want to implement the rule change.
That was a question among a lot of fishermen was the size increase to increase the overall size of the fish or the population numbers? And I think it's to increase the size of the fish.
It actually probably will do both because you're going to keep, so a 16-inch fish is about, depending on what time of year you catch it, 16-inch fish this time of year is approaching 2 years of age. Some of them might be 3-year-olds come May, but they're somewhere between 2 and 3 years old. A 20-inch fish is going to be somewhere between 3 and 5 years old here at Norman. Some of them are going to be real fast growers and some of them are going to be slow growers. So what we're trying to do is keep the fish in the lake maybe an extra year and a half before they get taken out of the system.
Well, and one thing to add to that too is, and we've seen this for years even with stripers when we had stripers out here, is they grow really fast those first couple of years and then they flatline, and they flatline quick. Whereas some fisheries, they're all going to flatline at some point for the most part, but it's how quick you get to that flatline, and they get here quicker than we wanted them to. So that's why he's talking about that balance, you know, with we put more in or we jack the size limit up even higher, we're hitting that flatline period where they're not growing and we're not doing any favors to anybody.
What's the amount of stockings right now for the hybrids?
It's 10 fish to the acre, and so it's about 325,000.
Now y'all didn't increase it to that till what, a couple years ago?
That increase happened about 3 years ago. Yeah,
Okay.
when we started seeing, when we were doing the orange tag project and we were in the middle of it, we knew harvest rate was really high because we were getting tag returns back, and you know, it was like 60% of them people were taking home with them. They weren't releasing them. And so we knew pretty quick that, you know, the harvest rate was pretty high, so we decided to bump the
You think it could stock even more?
Well, I'm not saying we would never stock more. 10 fish to the acre here at Norman is pretty high rate when you look across the state and how we do things with stripers or hybrids. I'm not saying we wouldn't do it, but I think we need to give it time and give the rule change time to see what, like I said, trying to figure out a balance really is what we're trying to do. And that just comes with time. You're just going to have to be patient with us. We don't stick them out here and we don't ever go back and look at them. We go out and survey them. We'll know how fast they're growing, how fat they are, how old they are, all that kind of stuff. And yet one thing you got to keep in mind about hybrids, they don't live as long as stripers. A hybrid, most hybrids are dead by age 5, just naturally dead by age 5.
The white bass.
Out here, probably at Lake Norman, because of slower growth, they'll probably live to be 7 or 8 years old. But in general, by the time they reach 7 or 8 years old, they're old people. They're ready to die. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's just a natural mortality thing.
So what about stripers? Would you stock any stripers back in the lake again?
No, we are not going to stock striped bass here ever again if I can help it. And the reason for it is they will go down to that dam and they will croak every summer. I mean, we've been down that road, and I know people love catching them out here. They're washovers from Lookout Shoals, and that's fine. You will always, as long as we stock Lookout Shoals, you will always have stripers in Lake Norman. They'll be at a lower rate. So, you know, everybody calls them unicorns. They die because of the stocking of alewife and herring in the lake that happened in the late 90s. That bait fish love cold water, and they love cold water year round, and they're going to seek it no matter what. And what happens down at the dam in the summertime is you get cold water on the bottom, warm water in the middle, hot water on the top, and the cold water's got oxygen in it. The middle layer has no oxygen in it, and the hot water on the top has oxygen in it. And all those alewife get down. I know all of you have seen it on the graph. If you go down to the dam the last 2 weeks in July, they're just stacked right on the bottom, all this bait that's on the bottom. And what happens is that bubble, it's like a bubble. It's kind of like an amoeba. A bubble's not the right word. It's kind of like these fingers are going along the bottom of the lake out from the dam, and that's cold water. And as the summer goes on and we get into the first weeks of August, it just shrinks to where all those fish die. But what happens is, stripers, they love cold water too. They chase that bait, they stay down there, and they will never leave it, and we'll get 10,000, 15,000 dead stripers floating up at the dam. We've done it. And honestly, it's not good for the lake. It's not good PR for the people that live around the lake. They don't like it at all. But honestly, it's not a good way to manage fish either. No sense in us stocking fish for them to die. Hybrids have died in summertime, very limited. There's a few, like Lawrence says. We had a kill 2 summers ago that was, I want to say, around 300 or 400 fish that were counted. So it's probably around 1,000 that died. We can live with that. We can live with 1,000 fish dying. That's okay. If we get to where hybrids are dying at 10 to 15,000 a clip, we'll have to reevaluate, to be honest with you. You know, we don't want to waste.
Are we having any die so far?
We had 2 summers ago, we had a fish killed. It was about 1,000 fish. So that's the only one we've had. We've been stocking since 2013. That's the only one we've had. But you can, the project he's doing, you can actually see those hybrids. They will go to the bottom, they will stay, and then as that bubble starts shrinking, Somehow, some way, they find a way out of it. There's some that don't. There's one or two that'll die every summer. But for the most part, the bulk of them will find their way out of it. And I don't know how, but stripers aren't that. Stripers are dumber than hybrids, evidently. I don't know. That's all I can tell you. Because he and I have picked up our fair share of rotten stripers blowed up against the dam. I can tell you that. It's not much fun. Blue cats are going to die too. They chase that bait too, so they do kind of the same thing.
Yeah, appreciate you guys coming out here today. First thing we want to do is do our youth award, and we want to recognize Butch Foster, Yale Wright Charters, who has donated some of these prizes for the kids, and University Turf also, which is going to be our first, second, and third place for the youth.
You do so much for them. You get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and you go have breakfast, and now you're out here doing this, and it's an amazing opportunity.
Hey there, Riggs. Hey, buddy. Water bugs, 7th, 10 pounds.
Thank you.
All right. Fins up 10.31.
Fins up 6th place.
6th place. There you go. 5th place. Huffy. How much? 10.87.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, man. Thank you. 4th place, $250.
Team Shanty.
Team Shanty. Team Shanty.
Yeah.
$250.
Appreciate the time, bro. Thank
Yeah, man. Getting some serious money now. 3rd place, $500 and a trophy.
Bo Elkins.
Bo Elkins. 13.37. Here you go. Let's get this guy to get your picture. Here you go. 16.81 Atwell Insurance. $1,000. That was a good day of fishing.
Hey, all right. Come here, girl. Let me get our picture.
Pretty big money right here. $2 grand, $2,000, and a nice trophy.
Team Bolo 21.06.
Team Bolo 21.06. Peter and his pup. That's a big. That thing's heavy, boy.
Yeah.
That's heavy. Thank you, man. Get up here, Trevor. Get up here and get your picture. Let's get over here on the other side.
Okay.
Next, we're going to do big fish. This is an optional get in. It was $20 to get in. We got $480 on that. It's a winner take all. That's Bolo again, 5 pounds, 10 ounce fish.
What was that? How much was that?
Yeah.
How much was that?
480.
$480.
Yeah.
One job to do, beat Peter Mallet.
There was 41 of us that wanted to do that, so you know, you and be embarrassed to come pick us up too.
I mean, I ain't got to say it, do I?
No.
I ain't got to say it.
Appreciate it again. Yeah, man.
Clean sweep.
Yep.
Smile.
Congratulations,
Thank you,
Peter.
thank you.
What's this win mean to you?
You know, I guess it's best word of saying it. He's the one that will best say right there. No, you know, it's not really bragging rights per se, but it's just, you know, all of us great group of guys, we all compete against each other, we all talk crap amongst each other, and, you know, just move on to next year, you know. So now the target's on my back again for next year, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
4008.
08.